The opinions expressed on this program represent the viewpoints of individual authors or contributors and do not necessarily reflect those of Troy University.
Welcome to International Insights. I am Doug Davis, and with me is Michael Slobodchikoff. On this episode, we will be speaking with the Honorable Mr. Bilal Bililci. He is a member of the Parliamentary Grand National Assembly of the Republic of Turkey. He serves on the Parliament's Foreign Relations Committee as a parliamentarian of the IYI Party. Mr. Bilici supports democratic governance, a strong national defense, effective international engagement, and robust economic development in all regions of the country. A native of Adana, Mr. Bilici has also demonstrated a particular interest in the agricultural sector, energy exploration, foreign direct investment, exports markets, human rights, and border security. He comes from a family with outstanding political service. He has an economics degree from Boston University and a master's degree in global affairs from Lancaster University, where he focused on populism. He has extensive international experience. Mr. Bilici, welcome to the show from Turkey.
Great to be with you all.
Mr. Bilici, I want to begin the questions, if possible, and ask you, Turkey is an important member of NATO and an ally of the United States, yet it also has a very unique relationship with Russia. What is Turkey's relationship to Moscow and Washington as well? And how is the United States viewed in Turkey?
That's a great question to begin with. United States is our strategic partner and ally. This has been the case since the end of Second World War. And over the decades, there have been ups and downs, but the friendship and the partnership remain strong. But after the collapse of the Soviet Union, Turkey, together with Israel, was the most reliable partner for the United States in the region. However, currently, I must admit that our relations are somewhat at all-time low. The reason is that mainly due to the northern Syria, the ongoing support for Ph.D, YPG in the northern Syria is a cause of concern not only for Turkish officials or Turkish administration, but also for an average Turk. They feel disappointed, they feel somewhat betrayed, and the Turkish people expect that the United States, which had been a long partner and ally, shall understand Turkey's sensitivities much better, and it should comprehend the region and comprehend the national security interest of Turkey in a better way. And today, I mean, the world, as we know, the world is going through many significant changes. I think there's an important opportunity to reevaluate the relationship between the United States and Turkey. There are no difficulties that the two sides cannot overcome. I believe when there is will, there is a way. Turkey remains a reliable partner for the U.S., and the U.S. needs regional powerhouses like Turkey if it wants to continue remain a global power. And if to speak about the relationship with Russia, actually Turkey has had friendly relations with Russia even before the Turkish Republic was established in 1923. The founding father of our country, Mustafa Kemal Atatürk, those days sent delegations to Russia in 1920s, early 1920s, and even during the Stalin period, the relationship between Turkey and the USSR were severed because Stalin had his territorial claims and aggressions not only towards the region but towards all the neighboring countries. So this was a great concern. Starting from the Second World War, 1950s, our relationship with the USSR were normalized, and we should keep in mind that the heavy industry of Turkey was built by Soviet engineers in late 1960s, and today there's a relationship between the leaders of Turkey and leader of Russia, but Turkey is not a naive, is not a gullible country. The Turkish people are aware that the two countries have different views on some key regional issues, and time to time on certain issues we are rivals. But we are living in a complicated and difficult geography. As you can imagine, you cannot pick and choose your geography. Your geography is your destiny. So keeping that in mind, that Turkey is in a position that it is strategic, and the strategic interests are should be one of the most important highlights of Turkey when it comes to relations with Russia. And having good relationship with Russia has proven to be an advantage for Turkey and NATO, to be honest with you, because when the war started in Ukraine, because Turkey is a NATO partner and also had a long history of a relationship with Russia, Turkey is one of, let's say, only or few countries that has an open line of communication with Russia. So to give you an example, the grain deal was done and executed by Turkey's diplomatic efforts, and this was an accomplishment by the special relationship between the leaders of Turkey, Ukraine, and Russia. I mean, this should be seen in a way, in other words, should be seen as an asset, not as a negative issue.
Thank you. Thank you. You recently were elected as one of the youngest members of the Turkish parliament. Your father also served in the Turkish government. How do you feel that you can make a difference in Turkey?
I mean, yes, indeed, it's true that I come from a political family, and my family is well-rounded and well known in Adana. That's where I'm from, and that's my constituency. And we are all familiar with the challenges that we face in the region, because Adana is located on the southern part of Turkey, central southern part of Turkey, and we also have the Incirlik NATO base here. And as my father did in the past, I am working hard to make the voices of Adananians, people of Adana, heard in the parliament, because Adana lost its importance, significance, as well as its prosperity over the years. Although this is an internal Turkey domestic issue, but that's a fact. That being said, my background is a little bit different than my father, because I studied and worked in the United States, and I have a broader view on international relations and global issues. Besides living in the United States, I also lived in the Arab world. I lived in the United Arab Emirates for 2.5 years. As you can imagine, living abroad gives you a wider perspective of not only understanding the world better, but also understanding your country better, your country's position better. And that's why I think a lot of schools and universities nowadays promote and focus on student exchange programs. That's an important asset, an opportunity that I would like to highlight as one of my priorities as a member of the parliament, as well as a member on the Committee on Foreign Relations, is that to further Turkey's tie with the rest of the world, especially with the United States of America.
Piggybacking on your previous comments, you serve on the Committee on Foreign Relations in the Parliament. What is the importance of the committee, and how can it influence Turkey's foreign policy?
Well, similar to the congressional, foreign relations committees, that in Turkey the committee holds frequent meetings on the foreign policy and foreign relations of Turkey. All bilateral treaties, first they all come into the Foreign Relations Committee, and most of the time there is a heated debate, democratic heated debate, during which all parties express their different views. End of the day, we reach an agreement what is best for our country's national interests. However, parliamentary diplomacy has gained importance over the past decades. The committee receives as well as sends delegations from all over the world, and committee members travel often internationally, and our visits are extensive. Since our delegations include parliamentarians from different parties that are represented in the parliament, this also shows and demonstrates the richness of Turkish democracy, and gives an opportunity to express all elements and all parties' views regarding the foreign policy matters of Turkey.
Recently, you attended the Aspen Security Forum, which is attended by foreign policy leaders from around the world. What did you take away from the forum, and what surprised you the most?
I mean, first of all, Aspen Security Forum is an excellent opportunity to meet my American counterparts and officials from the current as well as past administrations. There are remarkable politicians, also bureaucrats, government officials who attend to this event. It gave me an opportunity. Actually, I attended this event end of July in Aspen, Colorado this year, and it gave me the opportunity to express the view of my party as well as Turkey's view on issues of common concern. In this respect, I had a sincere conversation with our American friends, also with European friends. This was a great opportunity. Of course, the forum itself was very enlightening. Many issues on the agenda were specific to the US, but however, I had the opportunity to understand the US perspective on different issues that are relevant to Turkey, to the region, and also issues that are great concern for the US national interest. I mean, the challenges, for example, the challenges posed by artificial intelligence, the war in Ukraine, the domains of competition from Arctic to the Pacific were all the topics that were discussed during the Aspen Security Forum. But I must say that the highlight of the forum, which was a hidden surprise that President Volodymyr Zelensky had a live video call and attended the event. He joined us via teleconference and explained the situation on the ground in Ukraine. And it was a very valuable opportunity to learn about the latest developments in Ukraine directly from the president of that country, Ukraine. So this was a surprise and unexpected event that happened during the forum.
I would like to switch to domestic policy for 1 second. And you've spoken about Turkey's treatment of the Uyghur minority before. Why is this issue so important to you?
You know, my background and education also is very diverse. So I highly value human rights and human rights concerns and violations. This is not only important for me or for my party, but it's important for all politicians who have values and priorities that believe in human rights. I mean, unfortunately, the Uyghur situation in China have been really terrible, and they have been facing human rights violations just because they have a different identity and different beliefs. I mean, even Secretary Blinken last year called the policy towards Uyghurs as a genocide. So we find this situation extremely concerning. And that being said, we have good relations with China, but we also want to further our ties with Beijing, but we totally disagree and do not support the Chinese government's policies towards Uyghurs. That needs to be corrected, and they are law-abiding citizens of China, and I do not believe that they pose a threat to China. They deserve to have equal rights as a citizen of China and to be treated just like any citizens of China. So because they have different race and different belief and religion, this should not be a difference. This should be seen as an richness of their country. But the situation over there, unfortunately, has not been demonstrating these things.
Your political party believes strongly in making sure that women in Turkiye have an important political voice. What are your plans for protecting women's rights?
Well, you know, in a country where the full potential of the half of the population is not utilized, that country is bound to remain underdeveloped. The role of women in a society and in a workforce actually ensures that there is stability, there is growth and development, and this will have a domino effect for the whole economy. So in particular, as a member of parliament, our aim is to make sure that the voices of women in Turkey is heard and their problems are properly addressed. And we take this very seriously, and we take pride in this. And to be honest with you, our leader, our party leader, Ms. Meral Akşener, attributes special importance to addressing the challenges that women face in Turkey. Our goal is to have a 50-50 representation in the public-private sector. And in this line, we have been working rigorously to pass legislation for equal opportunity. Our party program constitutes an important roadmap on women's rights. Our party, E-Party, in other words, you call IYI Party, but it's pronounced as E-Party, has worked together with different NGOs, academics, and representatives from the public and private sectors to prepare this roadmap. Even though currently we are in the opposition, we are still working hard to protect the women's rights. I mean, to demonstrate you an example, compared to the previous term in the parliament, the number of women members of parliament of our party doubled. So this shows the significance and value that our party leadership gives for women and women's rights.
Fantastic. Thank you. I wanted to turn to NATO now because Turkey has made many important contributions to international security, is a member of NATO. What are the priorities for Turkey's security, and what is Ankar's contribution to NATO?
I mean, first of all, I would like to emphasize that Turkey has been waging a war against terrorism for over 4 decades. More than 40,000 people have lost their lives in Turkey, and the responsible terrorist organization for this is PKK, and now they relabel themselves as YPG group. Many people are not even aware of this fact. So therefore, our first priority is zero tolerance to terror. In this respect, we expect our allies and friends to support our country and stop channeling funds to these terrorist organizations. As we are all aware, PKK is a designated terrorist organization in the US as well as in the European Union, but you find out and come across that they still receive some kind of support from our partners in Europe and other parts of the world. I mean, secondly, this region has been very volatile. There have been a lot of wars going on recently with the war in Ukraine. Before that, with Arab Spring, the situation in North Africa, the war against ISIS, first Gulf War, second Gulf War, you know. I would like to address that the people in this region want to see a sustainable peace and stability. So that is very important in this part of the world. And then we can talk about prosperity. There has to be a peace in the region first. The instability in our surrounding actually affects Turkey's national security interest in a negative pattern. That is why that promoting dialogue and diplomacy and these types of tools are very essential. And I know that the war in Ukraine, certain circles, especially the certain circles within the NATO, have questioned the role of Turkey. But Turkey's membership in the alliance, in my point, strengthens NATO and contributes NATO's aspiration of being a global actor. So that's really important. And in this specific line, Turkey has taken a part in all NATO operations all over the world. This includes, operations and sending troops to Afghanistan, Iraq, Horn of Africa, and the Balkans. And most recently, Turkish armed forces were dispatched to Kosovo, where they were greeted with open arms by the Kosovars as well as by the Serbs. So this shows that Turkey is well received and a strong country. And another fact regarding Turkey is that Turkey has the second biggest army in NATO. Its defense capabilities have improved significantly over the years, and having Turkey in NATO contributes to stability in the Balkans, the Black Sea region, the Caucasus, and the Middle East. So that's very important. And, especially regarding the Turkish defense industry, that you will see a lot of Turkey-made drones serving for the interest of Ukraine. Ukrainian government purchased these drones because they were doing a really marvelous job for their needs, and they were addressing their, let's say, requirements.
Mr. Bilici, we are entering the last 2 minutes of our interview. And so I wanted to close out by asking how you see the future for Turkey. How do you see the Turkey changing in the forthcoming decades?
I mean, first of all, Turkey has been a bridge between Europe and Asia, and this is an important fact and a significant role for Turkey. Turkey has historical, cultural, and ethnic ties with Central Asian, Turkic states, the Caucasus, the Middle East, Eastern Mediterranean, say Africa, the Balkans, as well as Europe. So Turkey cannot be a bystander or viewer for these events that unfold in these regions. Since the founding modern day of Turkey, the foreign policy of our country has been based on the ideal of being peaceful. Peace, there is a big quote that our founding father, Mustafa Kemal Atatürk, said, "Peace at home, peace in the world." So over the past 2 decades, the ruling party, AK Party government, has pursued certain adventurous foreign policies that have resulted Turkey's isolation in the region and in the world. So I'm happy to see that the ruling party learning their lessons from their mistakes and engaging in a better diplomacy and dialogue. So Turkey is an important country, and our aim should be to focus on peace, prosperity, and common values with our Western allies. Let it be United States, let it be European Union, and other vital allies around the world. Of course, this is not an easy task, but it is only doable for Turkey and for Turkey's future. I mean, at the moment, some part of the population is not happy with the election result, but elections are valid, and we have a legitimate president. Although 1 out of 2 people did not vote for the existing president of Turkey, nevertheless, President Erdogan won the election, and he's the legitimate leader of Turkey. But nobody no one should forget that Erdogan is not whole Turkey, and whole Turkey is not all about Erdogan. So that's an important fact to highlight.
Thank you so much, Mr. Bilici. We really appreciate you taking the time to speak to us.
It's my pleasure.
It's
my pleasure to be with you. Thank you for your time, and thank you for this opportunity. And I hope in the near future I would have an opportunity to meet both of you in person.
I look
Us
forward
too.
to that.
We look
Yes.
forward to that.
Yes.